The 6th of October 2017, Sebastian Vettel insists that Ferrari can approach the remainder of the Japanese Grand Prix in a confident mood, irrespective of the weather conditions the team encounters. Ferrari displayed strong pace over the past two events, but a first-lap clash in Singapore and reliability woes in Malaysia cost the team a shot at victory, as rivals Mercedes and Red Bull profited. Vettel led the way during the morning's dry session at Suzuka, twice clear of title rival Lewis Hamilton, before completing just a single installation lap in the rain-soaked afternoon running. While dry conditions are expected later in the weekend, Vettel reckons Ferrari can show our potential in wet or dry weather, should further rain hit the venue. "I think we had a decent morning, we tried a lot of things and it was good to feel the power of the car," commented Vettel. "This afternoon was expected to be wet, we would have loved to run a little bit more, but you can't do the right amount of driving, because you don't want to burn your tire supply in these conditions. The results of the last two races were not good, but the car is strong. We have every reason to be confident, and I am sure that on Sunday we'll be able to show what we can do. If tomorrow's qualifying is wet, then we should improve. The last qualifying in wet conditions happened in Monza and it was not a good result. In Malaysia it was a little bit better, but we hope we learned our lesson. It's up to us to get it right. Whatever the weather will be, I hope we can show our potential." Kimi Räikkönen, having placed fourth in the dry weather session, says that Ferrari was able to gain some ideas from the limited running. "We did a little bit more running and generally, we worked on our program like every other Friday," he said. "Overall, it was not bad and the feeling was okay. In the afternoon we did not even try to learn anything, we are limited on tires and we have to save the full wet compound in case qualifying is run in wet conditions. It's a pity because we did not do a lot of laps, but at least we have got some ideas." Latest news: 1702 F2 1700 newly crowned Formula 2 champion Charles Leclerc says a communication mix-up was behind his lack of pace during the closing. F2 1556, F1 1554, F1 1551. McLaren's Stoffel Vandoorne believes missing out on a spot in Q3 at the Japanese Grand Prix is beneficial, as it permits him. F1 1408. Ferrari protégé Charles Leclerc secured the 2017 Formula 2 title with victory in the feature race at the penultimate round of F2 1318. Trident's Giuliano Alessi has been handed a one-place penalty after he was deemed to have caused a collision with Genzer. GP3 1302. Jenson Button makes an appearance in the Formula 1 paddock at the Japanese Grand Prix and relives his victory around the F1 1241 Toro Rosso has confirmed that Daniil Kvyat will return to Formula 1 at the next Grand Prix in the United States, in the wake of F1 1235. Renault has confirmed that Carlos Sainz Jr. will race for the team from the next event, the United States Grand Prix, in place. F1 1211. Jolyon Palmer has revealed that Sunday's Japanese Grand Prix will be his final race for Renault, bringing forward his departure. F1 1148. Felipe Massa believed he extracted the maximum performance from his Williams FW40 during qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. F1 1048. GP3 1046. Arturo Fukuzumi converted pole position into his second victory of the campaign during a largely processional GP3 feature. GP3 1031. Stewards at the Japanese Grand Prix have taken no further action against Sergio Perez, after he was alleged to have impeded. F1 1019. Valtteri Bottas is optimistic that his alternative strategy will pay off at the Japanese Grand Prix, with the Mercedes driver. F1 1002. Haas Romain Grosjean says he was left puzzled by the crash which eliminated him from qualifying for the Japanese Grand. F1 0952. Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen have taken different setup directions for the Japanese Grand Prix, as Red Bull looks to put F1 0900. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel says he tried everything on his final Q3 lap at the Japanese Grand Prix in the knowledge that a F1 0842. Lewis Hamilton hailed the handling of his Mercedes W08 after he claimed pole position at Suzuka for the first time in his F1 0841. F1 0814. F1 0813. Lewis Hamilton stormed to pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix, his first at Suzuka, with a new all-time lap record, while F1 0653. Nico Rosberg says there is no doubt about Robert Kubica's condition to participate in a full Formula 1 season, ahead of his F1 0636. F1 0633. Kimi Räikkönen is set for a five-place grid penalty at the Japanese Grand Prix after Ferrari was forced to change the gearbox. F1 0558. Learn more about the new Mercedes AMG Project 1 hypercar, which brings current Formula 1 hybrid technology to the road. F1 0550. Jolyon Palmer will join Fernando Alonso in taking a sizable grid drop for the Japanese Grand Prix, after Renault fitted new F10506 F10504 Valtteri Bottas led teammate Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes 12 during final practice for the Japanese Grand Prix, a session. F10347 F10326 Fernando Alonso is set for a 35-place grid penalty at the Japanese Grand Prix after taking on new power unit elements, meaning F10212 McLaren provides a glimpse of some of the outfits and merchandise sported by Japanese Formula One fans, who are some of the most. F1 1917 Genser's Alessio Lorandi has been handed a grid penalty after impeding a rival during qualifying for the opening GP3 race of the GP3 15-12 F2 15-11 Charles Leclerc extended his Formula 2 title lead after taking his 8th pole position of the season during qualifying for the F2 13-44 GP3 13-42 Niri Fukuzumi claimed his second successive GP3 pole position after prevailing against his art teammates during qualifying for GP3 13-06 Honda test rider Hiroshi Aoyama will replace the injured Jack Miller at Mark VDS for next weekend's Japanese Grand Prix, the Motor 1202 F1.